Introduction to Entrepreneur L4. We begin the second part of our video clip. We're looking at business plan, preparation of business plan. So what's a business plan? A business plan is a written document which sets out in detail how you plan to organize and run your business. And it gives forecast of sales, cost, and cash flows of the business. So a business plan is a written document that will help you, to run your business, how to plan in running the business, organizing the business. That's what we call a business plan. So let's move on. Functions or purposes of a business plan. We look at what function it plays. So it helps to test the feasibility of the idea. It will help you to see whether the idea is feasible or not. And then a business plan shows how all the pieces of your business fit together to create a vibrant organization capable of meeting its goals and objectives. These are the functions that a business plan plays, and many more here. You can read them. Let us go down there and look at contents of a business plan. These are the contents. You need the name and address of the business, the key personnel in the business, who would be the suppliers to the business. These are very important contents of a business plan. How to prepare a business plan. These are guidelines, helping you to write a business plan. So coming about, drawing a plan, you will need to go through these guidelines. I think there are 20 of them that you have to go through. Very simple. It's easier to get through it and then try to plan a business. Then we look at market research. From planning, you go to your research. It's important that as you plan, you research the market and you look at what your potential customers want and how you would best provide it. So by researching the market, you are practically gathering information as to what your target customers want and how best you can try and meet their needs. When you scroll down the information, we look at the information the market research is likely to include. You have to try and include who the customers of the product and services are, in the demographic, looking at the males, females, young, age, those are demographic. So you look at that and in what form, shape, color, and package, the image of your product. All these are important. They are very crucial to information that you can include in your market research. Then look at the methods of market research. We have the secondary research and the primary research, which we have actually discussed in the first video clip. So it's the same information. You just have to read it and grasp the concept or the important points that may arise. Now we can go how to carry out market research. How to carry out market research. You first have to determine the need for a market research. There should be a need for a market research. So you look at these objectives that may be needed in carrying a market research. And then 2, determine the information needed to answer the questions. And the 3, and so forth. You go down to 4, and details of 4 are there. All these are the points that you may have to look at when it comes to marketing research, how to determine how to carry out a market research. Right. So that is the gist of LO4. Then let's go to LO5. We are looking at the success and failure factors in entrepreneurship. So as you know, failure is not something you would consider when starting a new business, but research also suggests the failure rate for new startup within 5 years of the business is near to 50%. So there is a 50% chance that when you start a new business, it might fail. But then failure is not what you are looking at when you start a business. It's not where your mind is. Your mind is to succeed. So let's look at the factors that may help you to succeed or factors that may determine failure so that you can work against that. We look at lack of vision. If you are lacking vision, you may fail. So what you have to do is you need a clear vision that will help you focus and can stop you from moving into a wrong direction. That will bring success. And if you lack it, you fail. We look at selection of a business. Selection of a business is eventually one of the top reasons why most entrepreneurs fail. One of the tricky moments in an entrepreneur's life comes when he or she decides which business to adapt. So the selection of business is one of the top reasons why, because people want to do what they see others are doing. They don't necessarily have to look at whether they are able to, they have the capability, they have the resources, they have the competence. They just follow because somebody else is making money. And the next thing is to also make sure that the business is not saturated. If it is too saturated, you embark on that business, you face a lot of challenges. There are a lot of points down there that we can read and understand that will help us to know why businesses fail and what they can do to keep success rather than failing. Let's look at meaning of business incubators. A business incubator is a company that helps new and startup companies to develop by providing services such as management training or office space. So an incubator is business incubator is looking at startup companies that are there to help startup companies, new companies. It usually provides affordable space, shared offices and services, hand-on management training, marketing support, and etc. That's what business incubators are there for. Let's look at the following, the incubator services. These are the incubator services. They help with business basics, network activities, market assistance, marketing research, high-speed internet access, and more of them. That's the services that they provide. There are a lot. We'll now look at the types of incubators. We have public/social incubator, seed accelerator. Public is focused on public good, and seed accelerator is focused on early startups. So corporate accelerator is similar to seed accelerator, also helping larger companies. So those are the types of incubators. We can now scroll down and look at identifying risk. Identifying risk, we are looking at the need to be able to identify risks when you start up a business or organization, so that you can actually work towards that risk, in the sense that you might use more of your positivity than the negativity, more of your strength than your weakness. Let's look at types of risk. We have strategic risk, we have technology risk, and then we have location risk. Let's look at location risks. We are looking at among the location hazards facing the business are nearby fires, storm damage, floods, hurricanes. Location of your business. Make sure that you are not in around where these things can easily happen and affect your business. We can now go down to LO6, that is sources of funding. Debt or equity finance is one of the sources of funding, and debt financing is a method involving an interest-bearing instrument. So you would have to, get debt financing. It comes with interest. You have to pay interest, and we are looking at equity finance. Is looking at, it does not require collateral, and then it's also looking at investments, trying to gain shares or sell some shares. Then we look down with the internal and type of funds. You have internal, it's written here, internally generated funds can come from several sources within the company. That is internally within the company. It can be profit, sales of assets, and etc. And then the external one. The external one is also sources of external funds need to be evaluated on 3 bases: the length of time available, the cost involved, and the amount of company control lost. We look at the external factors. The external could come from family, it could come from friends of family, friends, commercial banks, so on and so forth. Then personal funds. Most business actually start with personal funds. They have to save and use that. We have commercial bank. Commercial bank is a source of short-term funds that give loans. They will need collateral, and they might give you a loan that is payable with interest. We have account receivable, inventory loans, equipment loans, real estate